Hi, this is Eric Martin with Board Game Geek. I'm here with Letitia from Sit Down, looking at Magic Maze by Casper Lapp. And this is not final production, or?
It is a final production.
It is a final production.
Yes.
All right. And she's going to give an overview of level 1 of Magic Maze.
Yeah.
And there are many different levels, and maybe you can demonstrate the first level and then talk about what changes after that. And what are we trying to do in this maze? Escape, I imagine.
Yes, that's it. But
that is all we do in the mazes.
We have a reason to escape, is that we're going to steal something, because we have 4 heroes.
Okay. Looking down here, this is the only thing we see at the beginning.
Yes, that's the only thing we see at the beginning. And they come from a dungeon and they lost everything.
Okay.
So they really suck. So they're going to the Magic Maze Mall and get new equipment.
Okay.
But they don't have gold anymore. They don't have anything. So they're going to steal it. And once it's stolen, they go to the exit as fast as they can.
Okay.
And if the guards don't catch them, then it's fine and everyone wins.
Okay. Now, I guess each person has a specialty. We see on the components here some things that...
So that's especially for colorblind people.
Okay.
So they can recognize the different colors. And it's to identify the colors that will... actually, the colors are important to explore and for special powers for higher levels.
Okay. So what do we do from this point, from when we start?
So first we need to explore the mall. Then we will go to the different shops. So each hero has his favorite shop with the same color. Once they are at their own shop at the same time, we flip over this, which should have been the other side actually.
Okay. And so this is...
So this is like this at the beginning, and once all the pawns are on their own favorite shop space, we flip this over. That means we have stolen something.
Okay.
Then we need to escape.
Okay.
We escape through this exit.
But each of us have our own exit as well.
Only from the second scenario.
Okay.
The first scenario is quite easy.
Okay. So we have level 1, we have 9 tiles.
9 tiles.
We're going to be adding these to the board.
Yes.
We'll be moving around through the maze. How do we move? Do we move as we wish?
So that's the great innovation of the game, is that we can play any pawn anytime. Okay. So it's a real-time game. But each player has only several actions he can make, and the other players can't take these actions.
Okay.
That means if someone has to move a pawn that way, I am the only one to be able to do it.
Okay. Okay.
So we really need to cooperate to get to explore the mall, to steal, and to rush to the exit.
Okay. And so all real time, and these adjust based on the player count. You'll have a different number of tiles based on the number of players, which affects the actions. So I can go in this direction and
use the Vortex.
Use the Vortex.
The Vortex, what is that? That means you can take any pawn and place it on the Vortex of its own color, which can be anywhere on the board. So here I could take this one and place it there. Actually, you could.
Okay.
It's really useful to get from an area to another one.
Okay.
Very quickly. But once something is stolen,
no more Vortex.
You can't use it anymore.
Okay. All right. How do we add the tiles?
How do we add the tiles?
Yes.
I have the magnifying glass action.
Okay.
That means to explore. When a pawn is on an exploring space of its own color, I am responsible for adding a new tile. Okay. So I flip one from the deck and add it with the white arrow going there.
So if we started off like this to begin with, so just for an example, you could immediately move the orange one here.
Yes, I could, but
and then the other player would have to move the green over to here. I move this out, and you move it over.
Yes, or
and
you could just use the Vortex and take this one out of the way.
Okay.
And that's much easier.
And then you move the green here, and
I would
move
move
up the stairs.
Yes.
Okay. And so everyone is watching everyone all the time, ideally.
Ideally.
Or yelling
yes,
at each other.
But usually what happens is that one player sees something to do and expects another player to do something, but the game is silent. So you cannot make a sound, you cannot show anything, you cannot point at something, nothing. You cannot talk. So sometimes you expect a player to do something, and that player expects you to do something somewhere else.
Okay.
Or maybe with the same pawn, a player wants to do something and another player wants to take it somewhere else.
Direction. Okay.
Yes. So you cannot communicate, but there is this send timer, which is 3 minutes.
Okay.
So you basically have 3 minutes for doing everything.
Okay.
But every time a pawn is on a send timer space, you flip it.
Okay.
That means you can also talk for as long as you wish, but you cannot get the time back.
Right.
As long as you talk, it's lost time.
Okay.
So you cannot play while you're talking. But as soon as a player takes an action, then you're done. You stop talking until you flip the send timer another time.
Okay. All right. There's a lot of complexity here in the simple-looking game. It sort of mirrors your previous release as well, in the sense that people have limited actions, and we have to work together, but without talking about what we're doing necessarily.
Yes, actually, we really like the games where you need to. I don't know how to explain really. You really need to cooperate, but there is something that prevents you from doing it.
Right.
The way you would do it. How would I say?
Normally. I mean, the normal cooperation
Yeah.
here. And so now this is the first level, where you have a limited number of tiles. And how do the levels advance as we go on?
For the second level, each hero has its own exit. So we have the yellow one, green, and orange.
Okay.
And the purple, obviously.
Okay.
So when you play the first level, usually the path is mainly the same for everyone to go out. But with these 3 tiles, you need really to take each pawn a different direction.
Okay. Which complicates things.
Yes.
And then there's more. There's more tiles
yeah.
you go up to.
From the third level, every time you flip the send timer, you have to pass the action card to the next player.
Okay.
So that's what will happen. That means you have to adjust and realize that you don't have your actions anymore, but you have other actions. So that adds a little bit more complexity. And then we have one special power for each hero. I can show this. I haven't unpunched it anymore.
Okay.
Yet.
Well, we don't have to go into to every detail, but just the idea of you get special powers, and we're going to add more tiles to the game.
Yeah.
I see there are special
So
doors.
Special powers, shortcuts.
That are available only to particular colors, it looks like.
Only the orange one.
Yes.
The green one allows you to talk every time you open a path with him.
Okay.
This one allows you to add 2 tiles for free when they are on a special space, which I don't have here.
That's fine.
And the yellow one, at some point there are security cameras, and when there are 2 security cameras or more that show up, you cannot flip the send timer anymore.
Okay.
Unless the yellow one destroys them.
Okay.
So you need to move to the security cameras and put this on them to say it's out of service.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot here.
Yes.
In the box here. It starts very simple and then...
Yes, and then we have 10 more scenarios. So what I explained is for the 7 first scenarios, which is learning the rules progressively. We have 10 more scenarios with variations of the rules. And each scenario can be played from 17 to 24 tiles.
Okay.
So that makes quite a lot.
With a player count from 1 to 8.
Yes.
Which is huge in terms of the range here.
Yeah.
You're trying to do here. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
There's a lot more than I expected initially from what was on the table.
Yes.
So
it's not complicated.
Good.
It's quite a family game.
Well, yeah, because you learn bit by bit as you go along. So you start simple and you can restart it anytime with the starting setup.
And what was I going to say? It turns upside down the gaming habits. You don't have to wait for your turn. You can play with any color, and you have limited actions. So these are things no one is really used to.
Right.
So everything together makes a really interesting experience.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And this is done. This is out now, or just being debuting
it
here?
just has been released this week.
All right. There you go. An overview of the newly released Magic Maze from Sit Down. Thank you, Letitia.
You're welcome.